Joe Biden is utterly humiliated as the latest Gallup poll reveals that President Trump is the most admired man of 2020. In this video, we're going to take a look at the poll and the huge amount of support that President Trump received from Republicans, how Gallup has exposed the fraud of Biden's popularity fabricated and pushed by the mainstream media, and what it means for the future of nationalist populism in America. You are not going to want to miss this. Welcome, everyone. A continued Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. The happiest of New Year's. Dr. Steve here with you, ready to bring you our latest episode celebrating the inevitable collapse of left-wing globalism and the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. We'd love to have you as a regular part of this channel that focuses each and every day on optimism and encouragement in the midst of all the defeatist fake news nonsense spewed out by the mainstream media. Now, before we begin, we've all experienced blackouts, right? Particularly at night, you know, that bizarre feeling when the power grid suddenly goes out and our homes go completely dark. Well, we've got an amazing solution for you. I'm preparing for my next blackout with a wonderful device called the Light Bug. The Light Bug is a portable solar-powered ultra-bright floodlight with 3 lighting modes. And because it's solar powered, you'll never have to worry about wires or batteries. And it comes with a battery indicator so you know how much charge is left. It also doubles as a power bank, allowing you to charge your phone or other digital devices on the go. Plus, it's water and impact resistant because it's made out of high quality materials. It's perfect to light up your fishing, your hiking, your camping trips because it's so lightweight and portable. But I like to use it around the house as my all-purpose general emergency light. And in celebration of the holidays, if you click on that link below, you'll get 20% off. So what can be better? Make sure to click on that link below or head on over to lightbug.com and get your emergency backup light today. All right, let's dive right in here. This is just wonderful. I mean, you really can't make this stuff up. As the mainstream media continues its 24/7 barrage of heckling and ridiculing and mocking our president, the latest Gallup poll on the most admired man of 2020 has just been released, and I'm ecstatic to report that that man is none other than our beloved President Donald J. Trump. Trump beat out everyone else on the list. He beat out Obama, who came in second. Trump got 18% of the vote. Obama got 15%. Last year, they tied, interestingly enough. But this year, ironically, this horrific year, Trump broke away and beat out Obama. Interestingly, the Epoch Times reported that nearly half of Republican respondents chose President Trump. No other figure received more than 2% of Republicans' votes. So we're going to be talking about this in our next video on how Trumpism has not only conquered the Republican Party, but it's also indeed conquered the supermajority of the nation. Sleepy Joe Biden was humiliated in this poll. He came in at a pathetic 6%. Trump is 3 times as popular as Biden. I mean, if you think this through, there was nothing to admire when it comes to Biden. Literally nothing to admire about a spitting and sputtering old man who never left his basement. And when he did leave his basement, he just humiliated himself. You got to remember that weekend. Oh, it was so sweet. Just before the election, late October, Biden's holding what his campaign considered a rally, which is just a half-empty parking lot, right? But he's holding this rally in Pennsylvania, and it suddenly gets crashed by Trump supporters. It was priceless. But had barely anyone show up at his rally. He spoke to a half-empty parking lot, and Pennsylvania Trump supporters got word of it. And I believe actually even thousands of them showed up. I don't know if there was a formal count or whatever, but regardless, as you can see, I mean, if you remember from it, there was a massive flash Trump rally that showed up to crash Biden's pathetic excuse for a rally. And Biden got visibly upset. As when he said that now infamous, you know, I'm going to be president of everyone, both those who support me and those who don't support me, including those chumps blowing their horns out there. It was utterly hilarious. They obviously got under his skin, and you got to wonder if Biden just finally said enough of this, because it was like the very next day, Biden called a lid for the day, literally 9 days before election. And the lid, I mean, the lid's when there's no events or information for the media to cover. And, you know, Biden was like, you got to imagine, he was just like, look, we go out to Pennsylvania, Ohio, nobody shows up. Actually, it's worse than that. Freaking hundreds, not thousands of Trump supporters end up showing up. It's utterly embarrassing. So what's the point? So he called a lid, and there was even a rumor that he was going to call a lid for the rest of the campaign. He knew nobody cared about him. He knew his campaign was concocted fiction, concocted by the Democratic Party and left-wing activists disguised as journalists in the mainstream media. He knew that. He still knows that. There was always a radical discrepancy between the way the corporatist, globalist, left-wing media portrayed Biden and the way the people, the populace, viewed him. I'm going to put it mildly. Biden has simply never, at any point in this entire election, started with the primaries where he was embarrassed in the first ones, he never connected with the people. Even in the election, Biden underperformed Hillary Clinton in every single municipality in the nation. Every single one, except for 4. Milwaukee, Detroit, Philly, Atlanta. And in these 4 cities, Biden didn't just overperform, he superperformed. He superperformed beyond any vote tally that Obama got, interestingly enough. Biden also just won an embarrassing 17% of the counties in the nation, yet somehow, and again, big tech and mainstream media thinks this is perfectly logical, somehow, and he could underperform Hillary Clinton, every municipality for the exception of 4, he could win an embarrassing minimum of 17 counties in our nation, and yet somehow he won more votes than any human being in the history of humanity. Nothing to see there, of course. Now, even in the lead up to the election, the far-left website, The Jacobin, was admitting that there was what they were calling a terrifying enthusiasm gap between Trump and Biden. That's one of the more consistent polling findings that emerged over the last several months prior to the election. Democrats simply were never at any point excited about Biden, and it showed on the ground. Biden and Kamala Harris was actually even more unpopular than Biden. They couldn't draw flies to their so-called rallies. And what an astonishing contrast with President Trump. And we'll get into that contrast in a moment. But first, I want to personally invite you all to our exclusive New Year's virtual conference on January 9th, 2021 to help you feel prepared for the year ahead. We've got amazing guests lined up. You ready for this? We got Pennsylvania State Senator Doug Mastriano. He'll be with us. Senator Mastriano got the ball rolling by spearheading the Gettysburg hearings. He was just at the White House and said that President Trump is more determined than ever to win this. So Senator Mastriano is going to be with us, as well as Ian Smith, the New Jersey gym owner, defying their governor's tyrannical lockdown orders. So we're bringing you the amazing patriots fighting on the front lines for you and for me. Now, seating for the conference is limited. Seats are going fast. And to make it even better, you can save 30% off your registration as part of our New Year's specials. Don't wait. Make sure to click on that link below. Take advantage of our New Year's registration special, and you'll be glad to know that a portion of the proceeds will indeed be going to Good Neighbors Home Repair. So not only are you going to be blessed by this, but you're going to be blessing others with your registration as well. So do not wait. Click on that link below and register for our New Year's virtual conference today. All right, so this Gallup simply solidifies what we already knew, judging between the sizes of Biden's rallies, if you could even remotely call them that. I mean, you'd have to redefine the term, the whole notion of a rally. And Biden's rallies versus President Trump's rallies, which were epic. We, of course, live streamed from several of them. There was a report a few weeks before the election that the estimated crowds that Trump and Biden had spoken to, respectively, over the previous month, at the time of the report, they found that Trump had over 250,000 people attend his rallies over a period of just a few weeks. 250,000 people attended his rallies in the course of just a few weeks. And during that exact period of time, Biden saw a grand total of 84 show up. 250,000 versus 84. And of course, the election bore this out. Biden struggled, again, in every single municipality in the nation, except for 4 magical ones that completely inverted the wider trend of the election, but there's nothing to see there, right? Biden struggled. President Trump received more votes than any previous incumbent president seeking re-election in the history of our nation. Trump got 11 million more votes in 2020 than he did in 2016, which represents the third largest rise in support ever for an incumbent. By way of comparison, Obama won re-election in 2012 quite easily with 3.5 million fewer votes than he received in 2008. 95% of Republicans voted for Trump. He once again won white working-class rural males who traditionally voted Democrat in every single presidential election over the last 30 years until 2016. He earned the highest share of all minority votes for Republicans since 1960. Trump grew his support among black voters by 50% over 2016. Trump increased his share of the national Hispanic vote to 35%. He killed it among Floridian Latinos, particularly Floridian Cubans, who gave him over 70% of their vote. And all of this despite the fact that the mainstream media, including Fox, pummeled President Trump with 24/7 negative coverage, mocking him, ridiculing him, heckling him. But as it turns out, it's all for naught. This latest Gallup poll is showing unequivocally that this game, this kabuki theater that the mainstream media and the deep state and the duopoly of establishment globalist Democrats and Republicans, this game they're playing is emphatically not a convincing performance for the deplorables across the nation. The political class may think they've won in 2020, possibly getting rid of the single greatest threat to their incompetent rule. But Gallup has just showed us that the Godzilla of politics is the most admired man in the nation, and the movement that he has helped galvanize is only just beginning. Now, before you go, make sure to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. And you'll definitely want to check out my latest video. I just uploaded it on how a Breonna Taylor statue, a BLM statue, was smashed over the weekend, all as BLM murals continue to get defaced and destroyed across the country. You're not going to want to miss that. So make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.